Milford Sound is one of the must places to visit when you are in Southern Ireland, New Zealand. It's about 4 hours drive from Queenstown via the town of Tianau. Um, it's a fascinating place to be, with waterfalls and towering cliffs all around. Once you reach Milford Sound, the Sudden Discoveries ferry, it will take you on a round trip through the Milford Sound all the way to Tasman Sea and back. It's about a hour and a half round trip. It's definitely a must visit, and there are several waterfalls, though there are particular ones that are always present. But if it's raining, there will be several waterfalls will pop up because of the rain showers around. With low clouds, it gives a heavenly um, feeling when you are in Milford Sound. A must visit. get to Walter Pig Farm from Queenstown, you have to board the one of the world's oldest and largest remaining coal-fired steamship to get which is called TSS Onslow. You just saw that they were loading coal. She is one of the last long line of coal burning steamers that's still used to ferry people, and this runs across the lake Wakatupu. Um, she was built in 1912 by J. McGregor and Company in Dunedin, New Zealand. The cost was about 20,850 pounds. Um, and the ship was named after Mount Onslow, which is a 2,889 meter high peak, which is almost at the head of the lake Wakatipu. The ship was launched the same year as Titanic was launched, and the first maiden voyage was on 18th October 1912. Um, and since then, after 57 years of service, it was finally decided that it would be retired and nearly scrapped. But fortunately, the ship was purchased by Fiordland Travel, which is now known as Real New Zealand, and since then she has been primarily used for taking visitors across from Queenstown to Walter Pig High Country Farm. This is definitely a must ride, I would say. You can live watch the sailors putting coal into the burners and see the pistons rolling. The ship also has a small museum on the lower floor. It's still preserved, and you can see there's a room that's has all the tools. It's definitely worth an experience, to be riding a ship which was launched at the same time as Titanic. I definitely highly recommend if you happen to be in Queenstown, New Zealand. I'm going to talk about a little history of the Walter Pig Farm. In 1880s, the Mackenzie family took over the Walter Pig Farm, and they started making improvements to the buildings and the land. And Hugh Mackenzie, he is the first who introduced innovative farming methods. He was the one who came up with fencing to control the country stock. Um, and his family was responsible for building the homestead and planting all the renowned gardens. They would farm for the 80 years and transform the whole area into farmlands, and have they had about 40,000 sheep and employed about 50 staff. The merino wool was one of the top quality wools in the 1930s, and they also won the first prize at the prestigious Wembley exhibition. In 2014, Real New Zealand, the travel company, they embarked on a major conservation project around the Walter Lake Peak, and they bought all the land around the Colonel's homestead, which now makes up the Walter Peak Farm. We just went around the farm. You can see there's a lot of sheep, and right now you're seeing they have a live show of where they do the sheep shearing. There are donkeys, there are cows on the property, and on the backdrop you can see Walter Peak, and it's a very beautiful property. We also bought the buffet, and it was one of the best buffets we ever had. There were like fresh vegetables, salad, like umpteen number of desserts. And here you can see the it's one tree, but it's so huge, and the way it gives a canopy, and inside that it's like enter it looks like a round circular, a dome where it's entirely shaded. Definitely a worth visit. First of all, you get to ride on the one of the oldest coal-fired ship, and then get to visit this farm. Definitely a must visit when you are in Queenstown. Fiordland National Park is one of the New Zealand's most treasured natural, icons and landscape. It is also internationally recognized as a part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is also called as Te Wahi Paunamu, which means the place of the greenstone. It's home to the glaciers and a lot of alpine ranges, unique flora and fauna that you can see this part of New Zealand. It covers about 1.2 million hectares. Early on, the Maori people visited Fiordland for mainly for hunting and fishing, and then later, much later, the European, the sealers and the whalers, took shelters in this area, and that's why there are very a few handful of settlements over here.